Hello. Welcome to the final
Hi.
live show. We have friends.
No.
We're so full
All
of
right.
life right now.
We are. I mean, I have a
Just like
cold.
we're here. What more do you
We were just talking about the Barnes & Noble sale and the Unstuck Your Kindle.
Yeah, so
I didn't even realize it was the unstuff your like the Kindle, one.
Mhm.
I got way too many last time that I never even read. Like I think it happened to me like multiple times. I haven't read any of the ones that I ended up adding. So I'm like, oh, do I really want to do it?
You need to take part in my Unstuff Your Kindle vlog challenge.
Yes.
That's what I said. That's the
Yeah.
whole point of it.
I know. I never do it.
I haven't really been successful yet, but so I'm going to try to fit
Is
the
it
ones I
you
really
haven't
want to
been
read in.
successful because you haven't vlogged it or because the books suck?
I haven't done the January yet, but because the books I usually been DNF, I think the one of them like it just wasn't working, so I couldn't even film. I'm like, they're just so bad. They're putting me in a slump. But I did like the one historical romance I did in the last one. So like that was the orange on the cover was a
Well,
little more successful.
You
this
better
time.
do January's because it was your idea.
I know I'm gonna do January. It was my idea.
What's the January one?
Cold covers like frost, ice, cold.
Oh, okay.
Snow.
Maybe I should start doing that because
Something
otherwise I'm
about
never
it.
going to read these.
Yeah.
Wait,
I
what
think
challenge
how
is
did it
this
start,
again?
Becky? We were talking about this like I think in our chats or something, and then or I mentioned it maybe in a video, and I was like, maybe you should do a challenge for all these freaking like books that we
Yeah,
have.
it was your idea.
And I'm like, maybe I'll do a challenge, and then Becky's just like, why wait? Let's do something like this. And I'm like, okay, you're the master.
Becky's the planner too. Like she's got the plans.
She is. I mean, teach me your ways, because
I know.
I'm
I'm
not
like, I wish I
mastering
was
it.
organized.
And then I'm like, okay,
I'm
time to
organized
come
at
up with a
work, at
theme.
home
And
I'm not.
Crystal's like, I thought we were doing cold covers. I'm like, okay, if that's still what you want to do, great.
No, I was like, isn't that what we do? I was because I think I already had a folder for January, and I'm like, on my Kindle
So if Crystal
collection. And I
doesn't
was
follow
like,
through,
it's
I'm
my
doing
fault. Blame me.
I'm doing a different challenge. Brief and 4 paws in the books. You made this bingo board for 2025. So like, and it has a whole bunch of prompts on the board. So I decided I'm gonna try and do it in 2025. I don't know if I'll get to every single prompt, but I'm gonna try. And
I saved Rainey's series bingo thing because I thought I'd give that a try.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
she says
Rainey's
that's on my
good.
watch later list. I gotta watch it. So
Because I need help with series.
Me too.
I just need help reading my
You
books
just need help in
altogether.
general.
I just need
I
help.
think I'm just going to. I think this year I'm just gonna like I think oh gosh, what's her name? Why am I thinking? Hannah was talking about just allowing ourselves to binge, and I'm like, I know we always get distracted by the new things coming out or just all these different series, and I'm like, I'm just gonna allow myself to binge and read the series I want to watch. Sounds so simple.
Yeah. I get like distracted by arcs and new releases and things like that. And then I'm not reading the stuff that I want to read, So I'm like, I got to request less this next year than I was, It's like, it just takes over.
I'm going to try and clear off my TBR shelf. That's my goal. Giving myself.
Yeah, I'm like, I need to read more my physical books, like I'll just randomly buy, and I'm like, oh, I haven't read like most of these in this section.
I went through today for my TBR shelf and I put like sticky notes on every single book and I'm gonna like pick a random number, and then on the sticky note it says like read this book or read the book 5 books before it or read the book directly below it. So it like mixes it up because I'm really trying to get the read.
Oh, see, I just figured out what was it? Becca, she has her Shelve It or Scrap It, right? And everyone's doing like their versions of it. I was like, I have my own version coming soon.
Yeah.
I need to read the books
Nice.
on my shelf.
Yeah. That's my goal.
I really need to do the same. However, I also need to do a major unhaul.
Oh, I just
because-
did that. I need to film my unhaul though.
Yeah, I gotta film my unhaul tomorrow finally.
But I need a
The
catchy
cool
name for
one
my
off
stupid
the
TBR challenge thing. I don't know what to call it.
You need to ask ChatGPT because that's what I did.
I'm like
Oh,
That's a good
the
idea.
impossible TBR challenge of reading every book on my TBR shelf. It's not impossible because I did it back in 2022. I read every single book I owned before I bought new books.
or
If
should we
I
take
even
it
wanted to
readathon?
do that, I would have to buy no more books for like 5 years.
It took me 6 months of a book ban to get those books off my shelf, but I did it. And then I went
I have
crazy.
like a bunch on my Amazon Audible too, like how many audiobooks I've bought
Oh,
and that
no,
are on
I
sale.
don't
And I'm
count
like,
those. I just count my physical
Right.
books.
yeah, I need to get those too.
But I'm like,
Abby Jean says you got this, Beck.
I'm challenging myself again to do it because I did it in 2022, so I know I can do it.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
I say what? Sorry.
Who was speaking?
What?
I don't
Who's speaking?
remember.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Physical books is a problem for me. I have way too many, and it's taking over my fiance's desk, and he wants it clear again. So
love to have a desk back. Yes.
and he's in the room, so he can hear everything we're saying. But
I know I need another bookcase that I was waiting to extend this. But like I have this antique furniture. I have to hire movers to move it. It's like my grandma's old antique thing. And I'm like, so I have all these books piled up like literally on the dining table and like a box over here. I'm like, this is a disaster. I need to get this taken care of.
yeah, like I have books in every spot of my apartment. My fiance's desk. I got a whole ton of books under the TV. I got a whole ton of books on the end table over there.
I could
And
not function.
I have so many on my movie
Yeah.
shelves. I put my TBR books on my movie shelf because I needed to move my books off the end table behind me. And then I got more on my shelves in the bedroom. And I need to get through and just start taking out books that I'm not going to read anytime soon. Or if I could get an audio for it sooner, I could just do that and just get rid of the physical. And I want to limit my shelves to books I'm actually excited to get to like sooner rather than later. Because I keep buying books. Eventually, I'm going to run out of room. So I'd rather be
Do that unhaul.
yeah, I'd rather have books that I'm actually excited to get into sooner, and ones I don't need an
Yeah.
audio for right off the bat. Because eventually I want to get to all the books, but I only have so much room.
I think if it wasn't for the historical, if it wasn't historical romances, my physical TBR would be a lot more manageable. I have so many historical romances. It's sad.
Right? Like I saw your last book haul. Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched your book haul video, Crystal, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of books.
Oh yes, it is. Yep.
So many books, so little time.
Yes,
Yeah.
I just filmed my entire own TBR video, so
See,
Oh, yeah,
if
I
I was
wanted
to do
to
that,
watch
it would just take way too long. So I'm like, I'm not making
Right.
I was pretty proud of myself. I had less books than last year. I was like, yay, good job, me.
That's cool. I like to watch Becca's hers. I'm like, that must take so much time to edit.
Right?
I can imagine. Because I had to edit on my phone. I couldn't imagine.
I did an
doing
ebook
editing.
one too. That was actually
Dang.
longer than the physical TBR, but it still wasn't.
Yeah.
It was only 8 minutes long, so it wasn't that many books.
I'm very lucky I don't edit my videos. My fiance does.
Oh, that's nice.
That is nice.
Yeah,
Sometimes I put off like my long vlogs, like where I did the one for Pam Godwin's series, The Frozen Fate, and like I talked like each book was like almost like an hour long. So like
Dang.
I was like, I don't want to edit this, so I like took forever to post it because I was just like, it's gonna take too long for me to go through it.
What are you guys all reading now?
What am I reading?
I'm going to be I'm reading an arc right now for a historical romance one. It's like a novella. But I'm gonna do a reread because I'm like I want to fill my top stuff and I don't want to have to if I find one that's like that I really want to read that's going to be on my top. I don't want to read it. So I'm gonna do a reread of Shadow and the Ember. Because I really wanted to read it anyway.
2 hours left in the audiobook of this. So.
Okay, nice.
I'm trying to get my way through Phantasma.
Oh, I love that book. Ugh.
Because I've been in the middle of this since like the beginning of the month. Well, actually, I'm not even in the middle yet. I still got a little bit ways to go to get to the middle. But I did start it, and I am liking it. But I've also been not reading much this month, unfortunately. But I'm also trying to get through the graphic audio of Fourth Wing, which is it's like a reread for me.
Yeah.
I wanted to
listen to the graphic audio.
I just finished my reread of Fourth Wing, but I didn't use graphic audio because I don't really like it. It's just too much.
Well, I wanted to reread Iron Flame in graphic audio before Onyx Storm comes out, so I'll probably do that in January.
Yeah, me too.
They already have Onyx Storm pre-ordered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited because they'll spray.
I'm finally reading God of Fury, which I've been like waiting for this one because I read Rena Kent's whole backlist to get to this series, and this is like the one that like I just like have been waiting for them. So I'm really excited about that. And then I'm starting an Echo and the Bone Outlander book. I hope I can make it in time for that.
I've given up on that
show. Yeah, are you on Fiery Cross, Beck?
Yes, and I got like, I don't know, like 10% into it, and then my library hold expired, and I never renewed it.
I hate that.
Because I hate that book. It's my least favorite.
I did not like that one. Like, I probably would have given up after that one if I wasn't doing the read-along, because I was like, I don't like this. It's like... So, but it's like when you look at how long the audiobook is, because I like listen to it while I like read it to do like the highlights. And I'm like, oh, 45 hours, you know, like, okay.
Well, that's maybe what at some point I'll get back to it.
I just bought God of Malice because that looked so interesting to me. But then everyone's like, oh, but you have to read all the other books before that. And I was like, but I don't want to.
I honestly, like, you don't have to. Like, I know, like, Jen didn't read it from the Book Refuge, and she enjoyed that series. Like, I actually had her annotate the whole series for me for her Patreon. But, like, and I'm glad because they got rid of these covers where it's going to be, like, the, you know, discreet covers. And so I wanted the men on the front.
Yeah, I missed
But I think you could definitely read this series as a standalone. But it's just, you don't know all the parents. Like there'll be like a random chapter from a parent in it or this or that. But
right.
Okay.
Because some of them are big fails. Like I vlogged every single like book basically, and some of them I like did not like at all. So
right. Like I have friends who DNF'd the very first book in the original series because they said it was just so bad they couldn't do it.
Which one? The Royal Elite one? Like the very beginning?
Yeah. They tried the very first book, I think it was, and they did not like it at all. So I decided to buy the ebook anyways, even though they didn't like it, just to see if I feel the same way as them. And I haven't read it yet, but I've just not heard the best things about that series.
Yeah, the Royal Elite one, I like read the first 3 books because the first 3 books are on Aiden, and I think it was Elsa. I can't remember. I never remember her name. But like I never went back to it because I never finished series. So then when I decided to do this, I went back and reread it. It's a very like high school bully type of romance, and it's, you know, it's kind of bonkers. Rena Kent writes bonkers over the top crazy stuff. It's you gotta be on for the ride, I guess.
Yeah. However, if you want some good high school bullies, I would try LJ Shen with starts with Vicious, I believe is the first.
Yeah, that was my first bully romance that got me into bully romance. I was like, oh, I love this.
I'm not really a big bully romance person, but Zodiac Academy works for me. I don't know.
Me too.
See, I haven't read that yet, but How many books is in the Zodiac Academy? Because I think that's when I was like,
I think 10 technically, because there's the 8.5 novella, but then there's also like a couple other novellas. There's like 12. It's a whole journey.
There's a whole bunch.
I'm like, maybe I should try that too, because I haven't tried that, but I was like, oh, I don't know.
Well, you just have to get, everyone says you have to get through book 1 because it's so bad and then it gets better. But honestly, I ate book 1 up, so I don't know what that says about me. But
right, me too.
I liked it from the start.
I know it's a girl errors, but I'm like, it's fine. It's good. It was fun.
I had fun. I don't know what else I was supposed to do, but I'm reading a million books. Oh, hi. Are you coming to say hi? No? Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
But I'm reading a million books, so which is always what I'm doing. But I just finished my buddy pages for Apples Dipped in Gold with a friend, which this was a fairy tale retelling Scarlett St. Clair is doing, like a series. And I don't love this one as much as I loved the first book. And then I really desperately need to finish Lady of Darkness because this is my Patreon's book club for the month. So
are you liking that one?
I'm liking it. There's like some really repetitive stuff going on that is kind of really aggravating, and I'm really hoping that stops soon. A lot of people have DNF'd because of that, but I'm like interested enough in the story. But also, I'm not a huge love triangle person, so I don't know how I feel. I just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it's very similar to Throne of Glass.
It's very what?
Yeah.
I heard it's similar to Throne of Glass.
Yes and no. I mean, parts of it, yeah. I haven't read far enough. I mean, I haven't even finished Throne of Glass. I'm like almost done with that series.
I'm excited to read it because it's my book club pick for Fiction Falls for the month of February.
What, Lady of Darkness?
I run with me and my friend Clint from Reed's Readers. We started this book club. I can't remember if it was it last year or this year, but we picked that book to read for February. So I'm excited to read it because I've heard mostly good things. So
you guys are so cute. Sorry, I'm just like
love trying.
Yeah, that's the next one of my I got the ebook from like a Stuff Your Kindle Day, so I'm like I really want to read it because it's one of my TBR radar ones. Like I really are interested in reading.
I heard Love Triangle and I was like, nope.
I love it.
Starlight Air is actually on my wish list.
Yeah, it's an arc. Yeah, isn't it an arc right now, or is it?
Yeah,
I want to know what you end up thinking of this, April, because I think it's the romantasy fairy loot book for next month.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm excited for the Starlight Air because it's also on my wish list.
Not that I'm not subscribed to Fairy Loot anymore, but I know it's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Abby Jean's reading The Night Circus. Yeah, April said arc. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that's a releasing. I think she had she typically writes historical romances. So it's cool that she's like shifting to romantasy because I know that's sad and cool at the same time because of the trends going on right now. But that's really cool. Right. So I'm excited to see it. Because definitely not your typical setting, I think, too, as well.
I haven't read her before, but somebody wrecked one of her books for like the 12 Rec for 12 Friends thing, The Beast of Bestwick. So I was like, oh, that's not like, it looked good. So I'm like, oh, cool. Because that's like my goal is more historical romance and reading new to me historical romance authors. Like, I just really need to push that.
Have you guys read The Night Circus? Abby Jean's reading it.
I have
no, I want to.
I steer away from it because I hear it's very lyrical and descriptive writing, and that's just not my jam. So.
Yeah.
But I know it's like Laura's favorite book, so.
Okay. Is that like When the Moon Hatched? Is that similar writing? Or is it? I haven't read that.
So I still need to read that.
It's probably better writing, to be honest.
I mean, I loved When the Moon Hatched, so.
But is it like some people compare it as purple prose, and I'm like, I kind of like that where it's not too flowery, but it's like,
yeah,
descriptive.
I don't know that they said it's like I feel like they use descriptive more than like flowery when describing the night circus.
Yeah.
I like the Night Circus. I think I gave it like 4 stars.
You think I would enjoy it because it's a circus book?
I know we've been trying, right? The circus ones.
It's whimsical and magical, flowery.
Although the Phantasm is kind of interesting on how that was. So it's almost like Caraval a little bit, but different.
It really reminded me of Caraval, which is why I think I liked it so much.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to read Phantasma, because I love the Caraval series. I even got my fiance to read the series, and he's currently on the 3rd book of that series, and he's loving it.
Yeah, that's been on my TBR forever. I need to read that.
I love the series. I just read Spectacular, and somebody said they didn't like it because it went into like a dark romance thing, and I was like,
so I might like that.
It was kind of like bubblegum dark romance. It was like dark romance it was like middle grade dark romance.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
Because it had that sort of like kidnapping trope thing going on. I was like, I like this because it's not super dark.
I still need to read Spectacular. I wanted to get the whole collection with the white holiday covers, and I haven't gotten it yet, but I want to.
Yeah. Jesslyn says that she was only able to finish 1 book during the readathon, but I still plan on reading more Fanro. That's cool. Yeah, Jesslyn, don't worry. I'm the host, and I'm only read 2 romantasies because time got away from me. Well, technically, yeah, 2 romantasies. So we're all fine. 1 book is better. Even if you didn't finish the 1 book.
I don't
it's
think
just
I'm
like
gonna
trying
finish
something
my
new.
bingo board though.
Yeah, I got like a couple of bingos, but I wasn't able to do a blackout. I mean, War of Two Queens hit a lot of my prompts for me.
I had fully intended to finish my book to blacked out bingo, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I'll just submit what I got.
Oh, cool. So I'm excited now that I have one of her books to read. So
yeah, I just picked up The Beast of Best Boy. I think I'm going to put it on my 2025 TBR because I think I read the first one in that series, and I think it's one of those. It's like an internet connected, like most historicals. You don't need to read those in order. So I love a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So.
Well, and I'm glad that I got The Daughter of Drowned Empire by you because I've been wanting to read that anyways. Some of these recs, I was like, I don't know.
Oh, and if you like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, the first one of this is that, and it's so good. The first one's Mountains Made of Glass.
Oh.
And it's a really good Beauty and the Beast retelling. It's one of my favorites, actually.
Did I recommend you a book for that?
You did, and I wrote 2 of your recs down because I was like, which one? Because they both looked good. Was The Fortune Favors the Cruel and then Queen of the Wild were 2 of the ones that you read. So I didn't know which one to do. I put them both down.
I hope you love The Daughter of Drowned Empire. It's so underrated.
Yeah, that's one I've been wanting to read.
Who is that one
by? Frankie Diane Malice.
Oh, I think they're going to this book convention I'm going to in September. So I was like, I have it on my list of wanting to read. We'll see if I actually get to it.
It does sound good.
I like book 2, Guardian of the Drowned Empire right now, and I did read the first novella. There's like novellas you can read that's in getting a lot of his perspective. It's like a prequel, and then what's it called? It does have My Second Chance, Becky, a little bit in the first one. So they have a history. You just don't know what their history is. And then, oh gosh, I haven't read Lady of the Drowned Empire. And then there's a Son of the Drowned Empire whole novel, which is in his view. It's also like a prequel. So, and then Warrior comes out in February, I think. So, such a good series. And she does like an awesome thing. She'll put a recap in the beginning of the book. So
I love that.
Yes, that is just so necessary.
Yeah, like when I read Carissa Broadbent's The Daughter of No Worlds, I read the first like kind of 2 books, and then it was a while till I went to the third, and I'm like, I don't even remember. And there was so much that happened in those books. So I like her website had a whole like recap, like detailed recap, and I'm like, I love this.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nice. I'm like, I definitely needed that recap because I didn't remember a lot of it.
Does she still have it?
She probably does. I think it's still on the site because she had it for all 3 of the books too.
I
like
hope she does, because
recaps.
it's been like 2 years since I read the first one in that series, and I never continued on, but I wanted to.
Yeah.
I still need to read that series. The only ones I've read from her so far are was Serpent in the Wings of Night and Six Scorched Roses. And I was not a fan of Six Scorched Roses. But I do want to continue that series anyway. So I have the second and third book in the series. So I do want to keep going.
Yeah, I just read that for just recently to like hit the vampire thing on my board. I had it like I had bought the audiobooks. And so I listened to that first one in that. So I'm definitely interested. I think I liked Daughter of No World series better so far, but I've only read the 1 book in that Serpents and Wings of Night or whatever.
That's my favorite series of all time. I have a whole shelf devoted to just special editions for that. But the third one that just came out was not as good, and I was so sad about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me apprehensive to start it.
Yeah, I have the Vampire Conqueror book also, but I haven't read that one yet. But I've heard really good things about it.
Oh, that one's great. I loved that book.
I need to catch up on the backlist.
Okay, let me catch on comments here. April says that Night Circus is whimsical and magical, but she wouldn't say flowery. And she doesn't like too much BS in my writing. I gave it 5 stars. And then you're confused about the storyline until the end. So that would I could see why that would be frustrating.
Yeah, that'll make sense in the end.
Okay. Nice. And then Justin really likes Beast of Beswick.
Oh,
so
cool.
You might like that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Nice.
What is Beast of Beswick?
It's a historical romance.
Historical romance.
Okay. I don't like read a lot of historical romance normally, but I
wanted more historical romance recs too, on my thing, but you don't really, people aren't really reading it, like, not reading that historical. So I was excited I at least had like maybe a couple, that I could have on the list.
Oh, you can read the Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love. That's historical romance.
Which one?
The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love.
Oh. I didn't bring my pencil. Whatever.
It's got some like magical realism in it. It's got like some fantastical birds in it, but it's mainly historical romance.
I do like magical realism.
And
have you read?
It was adorable.
And I do like
have you read that?
Yeah. My favorite historical books to read are usually from World War I and World War II. And I love like Russian history and stuff like that. So I usually read historical fiction from those time periods, mostly. But I wouldn't say no to trying historical romance.
Yeah.
I don't read a lot of it normally.
Oh, Amber, have you read Yours Until Dawn by Teresa Medeiros?
No, I've never read Teresa Medeiros. Like, that's somebody else I need to read. Let me add that to my list.
You can add that to your list. I freaking love that book this year. So
okay, I'm gonna add that because I do want to I was trying to just show more love to historical romance, basically too, and I want to do more vlogs on historical romance instead of. So I'm reading and trying new authors. So.
Yeah, I did. Maybe we can do a collab because I think last year Becky and I did one for Beauty and the Beast, and she did fantasy romance, and I did historical romance. So
oh yeah, that's cool.
That have Beauty and the Beast retellings, and that's where I found Yours Until Dawn, and it's one of my favorites this year.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I need to get my books together to do my top favorites of the year.
Yeah.
This is like the
I
first
know.
year where I don't know which book is my favorite. I read so much. I'm just like, how am I gonna figure this out?
I haven't even wanted to like look because I have everything on like on a spreadsheet, and I'm like, I got to deal with this after at the beginning of January. I can't even.
Do a tier rating. I think that I think April did that last year, and it was interesting to see because what she would basically figuring out what was her favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had thought of doing the bracket one, so maybe I'll do something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I had a hard time. I think I read the Binding 13, Keeping 13, that like that whole and I was like, well, what do I give my top? Like it's this all of these together. It's like
Yeah, just put the
them into
series
one.
all together.
yeah.
That's what I said.
Mhm.
It's whatever.
That's what's gonna have to happen with Pam Godwin's Frozen Fate. It's just the whole thing basically.
Although the first one was pretty like monumentous, I'm like, dang, kind of
Yeah.
thing. But
I really want to read that series. I love Pam Godwin.
Oh, you have to. It's like it's the best.
so good.
The Sea of Ruin is like in my top books. I love that book.
Mm-hmm. I was like crying within like the first 30 minutes of just her childhood. And I was like, how does she do this?
April got cut through.
Yeah.
I think mine's gonna be pretty easy. I'm figuring out what's gonna be my favorite because
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of rereads this year too, so that's kind of something that
No, so
I
many
love
of my
reading.
books, I think I had like 2, 3 rereads on my top 10.
See, I'm like, I don't know if I want to count rereads because I'm like, well, obviously those are top books, or I wouldn't reread them.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Right. I think I'm just gonna do a separate one, just like, hey, these are my rereads that they're so good that I reread them, kind of scenario. If I have like 5, I'm pretty sure I have at least 5 that I reread. So
I don't know. I feel like they deserve their attention because I reread 13 books this year, and not all of them made my top 10. I'm like, some of these books are just amazing books.
And thank you, Abby, Jean, for sharing about The Wicked and the Willing. I just put it on my wish list because all those tropes are some of my favorites.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
Like choose your own adventure kind of situation with everything. Interesting.
I say dark, vampires, 1920s. I'm in. Oh, and I like sapphic too. So.
Cool.
So that sounds really interesting, and I'm like, ooh, that's a wish list.
That choose your own adventure thing just clicked in my brain. I'm supposed to film some clips for a collab that I'm supposed to be doing in January.
That you're supposed to be doing.
Thanks for reminding me. Should really think about that.
So what is everyone doing? I know we're going to do probably a little bit of sprints tonight. So what is everyone reading tonight for sprints?
Well, I'm going back into Phantasma because I need to
think we.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to try and finish Where the Library Hides because I said if I did not finish this book by the end of the year, I want to finish this book by the end of the year.
I think it was because of you, Becky, that I put the first one on my wish list.
That always worries me. Like, it worried me that Crystal was reading my favorite book. She gave it 3 stars. I was like, fine. It's fine.
Hey, 3 stars is neutral.
That's fine. I'll take it. At least you didn't DNF it.
What is your favorite book?
Radiance by Grace Draven.
That's the one she gave 3 stars? Oh,
yeah.
my God, I love that.
I haven't read that yet, but I've heard really good things.
We have a friendship to where we have completely sometimes different tastes, and that's
right.
okay.
At least you didn't DNF it like I DNF'd your favorite book.
I know, man.
That's
why I felt bad doing that to one of those. To one of those 12 recs. I'm like, I should have DNF'd it because it was like a 1 star. And I'm like, but I read it because it was a 12 rec. I'm like, I ain't doing that this upcoming year. Like, sorry, I'm gonna DNF if I don't like it. Like, but
Right.
I try.
Oh, Amber,
Mhm.
if you want to put True Love by Millie Criswell on your list, that's a historical romance. That's like small, like a blue stocking heroine that writes, and she goes to the West because she's gonna write a dime novel about a guy from the, oh gosh, what's that shooting thing? The sharpshooter, Buffalo
Anywho,
Bills.
I know what
Yeah,
you're
Buffalo
talking
Bills.
about, but
He's a single dad, small town. So it's
I
got
think did you
elements of
talk about
like,
this recently? Because this is sounding really familiar. What's
I
that?
talk
Who's the
about it
author?
all the time. I'm trying to get people to read it because it's not highly rated because it was published before Goodreads and all that kind of stuff. But it's underrated historical romance, I think. It's my comfort read.
And what was the author again?
Millie Criswell. She writes other. I want to read more by her, but I she writes other historical romances and some contemporary. But I want to read more historicals. So because she's
Yeah.
also passed away, there's not a lot of
I can give you a
reprints of
dark
her.
historical romance, Rick. I haven't read it, but it was one that I wanted to read. And somebody said that it was too dark for me, and I was like, okay, don't want to read this.
And romantasy, guys, there's like a very fine line between romantasy and historical romance. It's why I love
Yeah.
historical romantasy so much as well.
I mean, give me all the dark romance. I'm down for that.
Dark romance in any genre.
I'm
I
trying to
like.
remember what this dark historical romance was that I really wanted to read. And then someone was like, oh, girl, that's too dark for you. And I was like, okay, I won't read it then.
Okay, mom.
I think it had something to do with Vikings.
Ooh, I like Viking.
I like Vikings too.
I gotta find it now because it's annoying me.
My first Viking book, I think, was A Heart in Blood and Ashes, Milla Vane, I think it was.
I just read that for this readathon too, and I loved that book.
I
Did you
enjoyed
like it?
I have that. I haven't read it yet.
That was my first Viking book. I gave that one 4 stars. I got it because Jess from Honest Fiction made me want to read it. So I did enjoy it, but I haven't continued the series. However, my favorite Viking book that I've read was this year with A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. And I was shouting to the rooftops that people have to read it.
I also really liked that book. I can't wait for book 2.
And I can't wait for the second book. The second book comes out in 2025. It's coming up, and I am so excited. I think it comes. I can't remember. It was March or May. It was
I think it's
starting
March
with an
or
M.
I think it's
Might
March.
be
But
March.
I don't know. No, I think you might be right. I think it's May.
Yeah.
But wow, A Fate Inked in Blood is one of the giveaway books, y'all. So if you join the readathon, go ahead and don't forget to submit in the Discord. There's a specific submit here. Submit your
Yeah.
bingo card and your blank bingo card, or you can combine it. I think a lot of people combined it by December 29th by 11:59 p.m. Or you can DM ever after readathon. Don't do a story because I lose those. So just go ahead and direct message ever after readathon if you don't have Discord or can't use Discord, as I know some people can't. So there's the plug. So one of those, Phantasma, A Fate Inked in Blood. I think I shared some of those, 2 others as well. So so When the Stars Are Dying by Chloe Pininera. I can't remember.
Panoranda, something like that.
Pinoranda, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then so anyone who wins, there'll be a first winner. So you get to pick, your first person gets first pick, second person gets the remaining pick, and the third person gets the whatever. So
And whoever
Yeah, those
gets
are awesome prizes.
And whoever gets The Stars Are Dying, you should join my book club for January because that's our book pick for Fiction Fall for January. So I will be very excited. It will be on my channel for those who decide they want to read it with us. We're gonna have a live show on it, so I'm excited to read it because it was my choice to pick for me and my friend Clint. He picks like a couple, then I pick a couple, and we take turns, each month. So this was my pick, and I'm like, I need to read The Stars Are Dying. I haven't heard the best things.
Oh, I have that book.
But I really, really want to read it.
The pretty celestial edges that are like to die for. Yeah.
I was
I've
trying to. I'm like, I know that title. It's on my shelf.
I mean, I've heard most people give it 3 stars, but I really am excited to read it though because it sounds amazing, and the edition I have is the most beautiful book I have ever seen. You take off the dust jacket, the hardcover itself, absolutely stunning.
Yeah, but a 3-star to me is so much worse than like a 1 or a 2 because it's like that is just a book that exists and I read it. Like it's like there's nothing to say about a 3-star book.
Yeah, sometimes it makes it harder. Yeah,
I've heard most people give it. However, it sounds amazing to me, and I really want to read it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping my experience will be different.
I mean, hey, look at me. I gave Radiant 3-star, but that's Becky's favorite. So.
Yeah, like our buddy reads that we do, it's like 4 of us, and it's so hard to like when we agree with something that none of us have read. And then like I put things up like for they don't really read historical, so when I picked a historical, they all hated it, and I gave it like a 6 star. Right? And then like the same with like a paranormal, like historical fantasy, they like hated it. I was like, oh, so
yeah.
Then I hated their favorite author, like the book that they posted. So I'm like, oh, well, we all have differing opinions.
Yeah.
April says she has that book too, and she'll try to DM there, Amanda.
Yeah, we would love to have you join us, April.
Wait, what HR book was it? Which one are we talking about? Oh, True Love by Millie Criswell. Is that what we're talking about? Or which one are you talking about, Amber?
I don't know which one I've read. Oh, the most recent one?
Yeah, let us know, Jeslyn, what book you're talking about. Or
I know. I'm like, which one was it?
You're talking about a couple. Beast of Bestwick. She read that one, I think, and then True Love by Millie Criswell was one I was talking about. I think my library had it at one point, but I don't know on the Libby.
Is that a historical romance?
Yeah, she was saying, wait, what HR book was it? Okay. She was talking about the one that Amber was talking about that everyone hated.
Oh, okay. I got to remember which one it is because it was... Hold on, let me find it. It was a Stacey Reed one, and I thought I had it, but hold on.
Oh, A Matter of Temptation? Was that it?
No, that was the first one I ever read. I love that, but I gave that one 6 stars. But I think it was the wolf one where he was out in the wild. You know that one, the wolf in the flower. I like
Wildflower.
I think that's the one.
I've heard of that one.
By
Stacey Reed.
Oh, that's not the same author then. No, I was thinking The Wolf and the Wildflower by.
Because there were a couple ones that were named that. Like we almost mixed it up. But...
Almost premise, I think. Oh, Justin said she didn't like that one either. Okay.
Yeah, it was the let me see here. Yeah, The Wolf and the Wildflower. And then we did that, I think Twilight or whatever, an Embers one or whatever. That was like the vampire fantasy one. They hated that.
That's a Tessa Hale book, isn't it?
Hold on. Let me go back here.
I think it's a vampire movie.
It's a different author. It's like one that I've seen everywhere that I was like, oh, we should try this one. Hold on. Oh, no, it's not. Sorry, I was saying the wrong name. Hold on. I've got too many different things on my.
When you said Twilight and Numbers, I'm like,
no, that's Tessa Hale, which I just read, for like the last readathon. So that's not the one I meant. Where is it? Oh, sorry, Embers in the Snow. Completely wrong. Embers in the Snow by Anna Carvin.
Yeah, Anna. I can't remember. I think it was Anna Craven or something like that.
Yeah, it's Anna Carvin. And I think it's her first fantasy because when I looked her up, she had like a lot of alien romances. that I saw like on Audible, but
And you liked that, but they didn't?
Is it Carvin?
I thought it was okay. There was some missing stuff in it, but I like gave it like a 4-star, you know, but they were like one DNF'd it, like, but they like, cause that's more, they don't really read fantasy. They don't really read historical romance. So it's like most of the stuff is like the contemporary or dark romance type of stuff.
Yeah, I remember Jess
Yes.
she liked that book too, Embers in the Snow.
Yeah, I liked the Tessa Hale series. I read that. Like I had read the first book and then never got back to it like usual. And then I finished that for like the Phantom readathon.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. And I love the audiobooks because it's got like a full cast. And so I like and they're so quick to get through. Like I really liked that series. I wanted to buy them because I loved the covers. Like it was like purple and then like the dragons on it. Like they just look so pretty.
That's cool.
I almost picked up a dragon book today at Barnes & Noble, and then I didn't. I think it's called Dragon Fall or something like that. It had red spray.
I got that in my book advent.
I've been hearing really good things about it.
I loved Matter of Temptation. That was my first one that I read. And I really loved that. It's so unique, you know, like it was a different setup. My problem was with Stacey Reed is I had listened to a lot of the audiobooks and she had like this really horrible narrator that like I gave a really low rating. Like it was like she's doing this breathy thing. It was in that My Darling Duke series. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to read the audiobook. I listened to a later one and it was a different narrator. So I was like, oh, okay, I like this now. But like when it's a bad narrator, I'm like, she was just like, oh, yeah.
So what else did anybody else, and maybe in the comment, what else did you guys read during the readathon that you enjoyed?
I did read Spark of the Everflame.
Oh yeah, I think I bought that.
And I actually really enjoyed it. I know most people say that it's kind of slow, and it is a little, but I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would, and gave it 4 stars. And now I got Glow of the Everflame on my wish list that I do want to get that I haven't gotten yet. But I've heard more people love Glow of the Everflame more than the first book. So
oh yeah, that was my favorite of all 3. They're out, yeah.
I finally read finished ACOTAR, so reading A Court of Silver Flames. I like loved it. It was like 6-star. Like I really like Nesta, so like I love Nesta's story. So I loved that. So now I'm debating in this next year, like, do I want to try and do what is that series that you guys were just talking about? The earlier one, Throne of Glass. I don't know if I want to start reading that this year.
Oh yeah,
have you read it yet? Like, is it a reread or not yet?
No, it's like I haven't read it at all. Like I've only read ACOTAR basically by her.
But you have to read the Throne of Glass series. It is the best series ever.
Okay. See, I always hear mixed things. Like people love it.
Yeah, I think ACOTAR is like my favorite, but let's go Throne of Glass, just knowing that it's like an epic fantasy. It's YA for sure, especially in the beginning. Book 3 is my favorite, The Heir of Fire or whatever, but just know going through it, it's more, the romance is like a subplot, so it's more of the epic world building, the characters and that whole thing, which is good.
Like for me, even though it is YA, it didn't read YA to me because there was so much going on. Like it felt like I was reading a normal fantasy series that didn't feel like it was YA. And like, even though there is some romance, it kind of balances out with how much is going on. Like the 5th book was my favorite out of the whole series, but there's like so much happening. Like you just get addicted and you get sucked in and you can't put it down. And it was my favorite. It's still my favorite series of all time. I want to do a reread on the series, but it's like so much happening that you won't like. You won't want to put it down because I
totally skipped the 2nd book. I skipped Tower of Dawn, and I never read Assassin's Blade.
Really?
And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what I read.
Yeah, if I wouldn't push through after a second one, I probably would have DNF'd. But I really like the third one hooked me. But I think
people hate
it's
me
that,
when
you
people
know,
are like, "What recommended reading order do you suggest?" And I'm like, "I suggest you
like,
skip the prequel. I suggest you skip the second book, and I suggest you skip Tower of Dawn. You don't need to read any of that."
Well, for me, Tower of
They're like,
Dawn
"What's
was
wrong with
needed.
you?"
I mean, I love all the books, don't get me wrong, but Tower of Dawn, I think, was the weakest one for me.
true. I think so too. I wish when I reread the series, because I will again, I think I'll do that tandem read for Tower of Dawn and Empire. Is it Empire Storm? I think
Yeah,
I'll
that's a
do
good
that.
one.
I think I read it in order, or the romantic order, and I think I'll do that next time. I
I'm
think it would have
about
been a
to
better
start
experience.
the tandem read for that. I haven't read it ever.
You haven't?
Okay,
No,
awesome.
I actually have
I
not.
think it's the best way to
You have
go
to
because
message me
it
on Instagram when you're done because it's my favorite series ever. And I need to know everybody's thoughts.
It's
no
not
pressure,
hitting
Rainy.
for
No
me the
pressure.
way that everyone else is.
Really?
Same
I
thing, Rainy. No,
I
I love
don't
Jeff.
know if it's that I didn't read it before everything else, but like I would like it and I'll probably appreciate it more on a reread. But to me, I'm just like, I've read better things. I don't know.
I was just there for Rowan, and so if he
See,
wasn't in the
Rowan.
book, I didn't read it.
I don't really care about
Rowan.
him. So I don't know if I'm reading the same series everyone's.
He was my favorite character. I was like, if he ain't here, I don't care.
Oh, I only care about Dorian.
And those are the only books
No.
you need to read. Find the ones with Dorian in it, and that's all you need to read. Which I think
My
is
favorite
Well, Rainy, did you like have you read Manacles? I haven't yet, but I feel like he's a
Yes.
little bit Draco coded, Dorian.
Oh, I have not read that. I have that. I want to read it because my friend made me
I want
a
to read it, but
copy.
just in normal, I feel like Dorian's Draco coded a little bit.
I don't know if you guys heard, but Manacled is actually being traditionally published, so she has to
Yeah.
choose like the whole
Mhm.
characters and like make them regular characters instead of Harry Potter ones.
So I would get it
Yeah,
off fanfic now
I
before
want to
like
read that.
the
I want
archive.
to read it before it comes out.
It's
Although
on my Kindle.
it's already off of AO3.
Oh, it is? Oh, I kept it on my Kindle, luckily, like so
Yeah,
I
I have it on
still
mine.
mm-hmm.
I'm
See,
hoping
I'll
to read it,
probably
but
read it once it's
1,000 pages.
traditionally published and has nothing to do with like Harry Potter. Because
Yeah, I mean, I love Harry Potter, but I might wait for that too, because otherwise it might just ruin the characters for me. I mean, I tried the first chapter and then I never went back to it, but I might just wait until like she completely changes it and then try it with like the normal people.
Yeah,
that's not Harry Potter.
Like I couldn't get into Harry Potter, and The Handmaid's Tale was a god awful book. So you tell me it's Harry Potter plus The Handmaid's Tale, and I'm just like, this sounds horrible to me.
Yeah, it's not a Becky book.
No, it's not a feel good. It's not a feel good journey. It's a dark, angsty, depressing journey.
Nope, none of that says
That's like
me.
a book right there.
But I like to put myself through that. Like I love to put myself through the pain and the trauma. But you better have a payoff. Like I read one that was like, God, what was it? I can't remember what it was called. But it was like super long. It was like over 400,000 for the fanfic readathon, and it doesn't have like a really HEA to me. Like it's the unconventional HEA, and I was so pissed. I was like, I just went through trauma, dark romance, torture. Like no, no.
Like if I enjoy a dark romance, then there's got to be something amazing.
Good. Yeah. I did read the Infernium, which was the second part of the book that you recommended to me. And I really enjoyed it. Like I loved those audiobooks too. Like I listened to that in one day.
Dark in my opinion.
Yeah, they're not too dark. It's like more fantasy and world building. Like I really like I had never read Carrie Lake before. So I'm definitely interested in trying more from her.
Not to Claudia was one of my favorite books this year, and I'm like, I gotta read her backlist now.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I think this next year I'm gonna like look into her backlist.
Yeah, I keep saying that too, and I just never do. I need to.
Yeah.
I liked those first two books that I read.
She's got a new fantasy out, and is it Anathema or Anathema? I don't know. People keep saying it differently, so I have no idea how it's supposed to be said.
We all come up with our own.
I've heard it.
Anathema?
I've heard people call it
Anathema, yeah.
I heard people call it anathema and anathema, so I don't know which one.
I'm gonna Google it.
Maybe that's because, maybe I don't know. I wonder if there's an audiobook. That's usually how I tell.
That's how I find out the pronunciations to
I'm like,
things.
oh yeah.
Like,
I'm like, I would be over here saying encyclopedia. It's if nobody else is saying about How I Met Your Mother. If it was, I would be over here saying encyclopedia. It's if nobody else is saying
what?
Shut up! God, I'm trying to listen to anathema, not this. Stop it. Can I listen to it now?
Anathema.
Anathema.
enough.
So it is
Okay.
anathema.
Anathema.
I think I saw. I think it was Cassie from Cars with Cassidy. I can't remember if it was that one or Nocticadia that she read. It was one of them.
You read Anathema.
Yeah, and I remember her talking about it, and she said this was something about it being a crazy time, but she really enjoyed it.
I mean, I've read a Carrie Lake book before, but it wasn't that one. I read Master of Salt and Bones, and I really liked that one too, but it was also very dark.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
that's my
think
next
I
one. I want
was.
to have by her. I want to read.
I can't remember if I
It's,
bought that one like on audiobook. I'm like, hold on, let me go.
It
Because
means
I do want to read that.
for someone that one vehemently dislikes.
Uh,
I didn't know the meaning of that word, so I googled that too.
Vehemently dislikes. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Vehemently
So
dislikes.
I'm guessing there's like an enemies to lovers.
Of course.
Or be a formal curse by a pope or a counselor of the church.
Nice.
There's your word of the day. Listen, everybody. Anathema.
That's fun.
Vehemently dislike.
Interesting.
See, I was pronouncing it anathema, so.
I
Yeah,
was
me too.
Me too.
I'm like, which one's right? I'm not sure which.
Although now that I know how it's pronounced, I'll probably still call it anathema or anathema. Or I'll say it. Like, just sounds better, anathema.
Right? Oh.
Well, do we want to do a sprint, like our 20-minute sprint, or like how long do we want to do?
I'm good with long ones. Whatever you guys are up to doing.
I have a 20-minute timer if you want to use it.
Becky for the win. She always saves me because I don't have the access to do one. No one, because StreamYard doesn't like tablets, apparently.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, we can do a 20-minute one.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I need a little bit of time because I haven't eaten dinner yet and I want to go eat something.
There you go.
Yeah, I can only stay on for a bit because I got to go make dinner.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because you are 3 hours behind, right? Or
Yeah.
is it 3 hours? Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Go.
Mm.
Hello.
That went way too quick.
Quicker than I.
10 minutes goes by fast.
Yeah.
I usually do like longer sprints, like either on my channel or on my friends' channels. And we usually go for like 45 minutes, an hour, sometimes more than an hour if they really want to. I don't know, everybody can do
I
that,
don't like
but
hour-long sprints. I like 30, 45-minute ones. But
Yeah, I usually do 45 or 30, but to start us off, I figured we do a quick one.
oh. I read one chapter and ate some food. I got Moe's for dinner.
I don't know how many chapters I read. I don't know where I'm at.
I read one Outlander chapter. That means, well, and then I'm like, oh, I'm 6% in. I have a long ways to go.
Oh, congrats!
6%.
I think I have 3 more chapters left in this book. But my god, this book is like... You can't trust anybody in this book. It's always the family drama, man.
Well, I just worked. I didn't read. I worked on my disappointing, surprising, best and worst books list.
Oh. That's a fun one to kind of look back on.
Well, yeah,
If you want to rant.
Oh, I do have rants, but I also was just looking back. I was like, wait, I read that this year. Like, there's so many books. I'm like, that feels so long ago.
Do you do your you said you do your disappointing and worst. Do you do that in one video or do you separate them?
Last year I did 4 videos because I did disappointing, surprising, worst, and best. But this year I was like, I'm gonna combine disappointing and surprising, but I'm still gonna keep worst and best separate.
Okay.
I need to work on my own video.
I'm trying to plan out my January TBR.
Yeah,
I know, that's what I was trying to figure out now. I was like, before we got on, I was like, I need to figure out my January
Based on
TBR.
what I have, this video is going to be like maybe 2 minutes long.
Dang, that's a short TBR.
Because I'm not trying to plan out what I'm reading.
Mm-hmm.
So I pretty much just have my arcs, my book club selection, my unstuff, my Kindle, and then just a random book off my TBR. Like, what do I do?
Yeah, I think I have 10 arcs and ALCs so far. So I'm like,
damn. What?
Well, I'm currently reading one, so I won't have to do it for January, but I do have a Loretta Chase to read in January. That's my one arc. And then I think going forward for my TBRs, I'll do my spinner wheel, but then I'll be just like, at most, hey, here's 4. Oh, guess what? I'm still working on this because I'm such a slow reader.
I know.
Working on these series.
I was like putting way too much on my TBRs and then like only reading what's on my TBR. And I'm like, I want to be able to mood read more. So I'm like, I'm going to try and do less, like just like my arcs, buddy reads, like, that stuff.
Yeah.
Because
like, how do
I like to do the spinner wheel of like the ones I want to read.
Just 2 minutes long. That's my problem.
Yeah.
Luckily, one of my arcs is like our buddy read for this next month. So I'm like, cool, I'll get that done early.
I have one arc until February, and I was like, what the hell is this even about? I read the synopsis, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was a cover request. I need to stop doing that.
So I only have 2 books that I actually have to read for January. The rest, I'm probably just going to do like a possible mood read TBR kind of thing. So I'm not doing planned ones anymore starting the new year because I never read all the books. And then I don't feel like reading a lot of the time. So I'm like, instead of doing that for the new year, I'm gonna try and fit in more reading vlogs of like whatever I feel like reading instead of like doing books that I have to read and like consistently like have
Yeah.
a huge TBR I can never get through. So the only two books I have to read is my Fiction Falls Book Club book, The Stars Are Dying, and then I'm doing a buddy read with my friend Alita from Alita with the Books. We're reading Daughter of Mine by Megan Miranda together. And those are the only books that I absolutely have to read that I do plan on reading. However, I might try to get to Strange the Dreamer if I can, because some of my friends, they co-host this. They've been co-hosting this Lainey Taylor read along from most of the year. They just did this Daughter Smoke and Bone trilogy, but starting in January they're doing Strange the Dreamer, and then the second book after that in February. So I only since I have Strange the Dreamer, I might try and see if I can throw that into so I could join the live show for that.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, like, I was glad Jen posted the video today because I know they're doing a historical romance readathon thing, the 2 book clubs. So I was like, oh, I wanted to see what they were doing with their readathon before I started planning it, because now I'm like, I want to make a lot of my TBR, like the historical romances. So that's kind of what I need to figure out now.
Ooh, Amber, do I have a video for you here in a couple of days?
Okay, yes.
I'm gonna film my 25 in 2025, and it's a special edition version. So,
Ooh, cool.
yes, all historical romances. Yep. Yeah, April and I have one we have our Mood Reader book club. So usually we'll read a historical romance and then romantasy, or it could be whatever because it's Mood Reader. But we have a historical romance in January, which I think is Flowers in the Storm by Vlad Kahini, I think. And then in February, we're going to read Onyx Storm.
Wait, what are you reading? Flowers in the
It's going to be Flowers in the Storm, I think, by Vlad.
Is that what I
It's
think
like a dark Victorian.
I think I know what that is. Hold on.
It's set during like Jack the Ripper era, I think, or something. From what
I think that's been on my TBR.
That reminds me.
We just got to figure out a day, April, because Flowers in the Storm, Flowers to the Devil, for the Devil.
Oh, okay, I was like, I can't find.
I can't find this book. Give me the wrong title.
One that's so similar title. I get it wrong every time. It's Flowers for the Devil. I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. I don't.
April's got it.
Yeah. Flowers for the Devil.
That's on my TBR.
That's funny because somebody else literally recommended that too. Was that you? No, you hadn't read it yet. Because that was on like one of the options. Because some people gave me multiple options on that 12 rec for 12 friends, and that was one of them. So maybe I'll have to do that.
Yeah, and April said she's not going to request as many arcs in 2025. Yeah, I started doing that.
And
I've also got requested to read arcs. So I was like...
Are you reading that in January?
Yeah. It's going to be for a Mood Reader January. It's probably going to be the 3rd week in January. I'm guessing I had to figure out the details with April, but...
So I'm going to have to buy this book.
What are you doing over there? Sorry,
I think it was on for one of the Stuff Your Kindle days that was for free. I think that's how I got it. I don't know.
I did not get it for Stuff Your Kindle Day.
I think. Let me see if I have it.
Hold on. I thought I saw that when I was looking it up that it was like on Kindle Unlimited. If you have that.
It is.
It is. Yeah.
But I don't use Kindle Unlimited anymore.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, it said I borrowed it, but I never read it back when I had Kindle Unlimited. So yeah, but it's $4.99 to buy. But yeah. But I'm sure
need
my
more points
library
so I can get a freaking $3 credit.
And Aberdeen says yes, for the first time in forever, I have an empty TBR because I read all Christmas books in December. It's been so fun to make a brand new TBR for January. Yeah, hey, kudos to you guys to read Christmas books. I can't, but.
The only Christmas books I read are like ALCs because they were like easy little audiobooks. I don't really fully read like Christmas books.
What is ALC?
Oh, it's just like an ARC but an audiobook, so advanced listening copy.
Oh, gotcha.
Although
Yes.
I hate that
I know what
term
ARC is,
because
but I've
that
never heard
just
of
like
ALC.
reinforces the whole like listening
reading.
to books
Yeah.
isn't reading books. Why do we have to call it an
Yeah.
ALC?
Yeah.
I disagree with that. I really do think audiobooks is a way to read. Like people shouldn't be saying that it's not, because it is.
Mhm.
They
It's still
never
consuming
used
the
to
book.
call them ALCs. They just used to call them audio arcs.
Arts or
I still call them audio arcs.
Yeah.
I never knew
Oh,
there was
yeah.
a new term. I never heard of ALC until Amber just mentioned it.
That's what they call it too, like for when you request them and stuff, or like I get them a lot of mine through Valentine PR, you know, so like they'll offer like the ALCs arcs separately and then their ALCs in a separate thing too. And they have like a Facebook group for that too that like I follow.
Oh, nice.
Nice. So Darren is doing a alternate between one book from her TBR and a mood read, which that's kind of cool. Just allow
That's
yourself to,
good. Mm-hmm.
and not even put just one and then alternate off and on. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Alright, well, do we want to do another sprint, a 30-minute one this time?
I'm good with that.
I'll have to jump off because I still have to film a video and then I have to make dinner real quick. So
I know those 20 minutes
What
is
time
good.
is it?
Well,
Jump
thanks,
off too.
Amber. Thanks for joining.
well, thank
And thanks for
you.
doing
Thanks,
these math.
guys.
Bye, Amber.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna jump off too.
Okay. All right,
So-
we'll do one more sprint. Are you okay reading and Amanda?
Yeah, I'm good for those ones.
I'm still good.
Okay.
I have no
Yeah, we'll
plans and
probably
have
do one more.
no reason to leave.
Okay. Yeah, we'll probably do one more sprint and then we'll call it a night.
All right.
Okay.
Night, ladies. Have a good one.
Night.
Night.
I am going to do my little thingamajiggy. I think we do read until 05. Does that work?
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. Alrighty. Happy reading.
Happy reading.
Hello.
Hey.
How was your reading?
I read a little bit more than I did last time, which is good.
I still didn't read. I just had a lot of Patreon things I was behind in because it's almost January, and then I'm doing a big readathon in February, and I haven't planned that.
I have
And
a doctor appointment in January.
Okay, that's very exciting for you.
And I have an appointment to do
Okay,
to
okay,
get
okay, okay,
me to
okay.
my 2000 cavities in January.
Oh, okay. Oh goodness. Okay. And that.
That's cute. he's he's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You can only sit next to me if you're quiet.
He's got lots to say, huh? You have 2 kids?
Yeah, I have that one, Lincoln. He's 5, and then my other one is almost 2.
Aw.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
only 1, but she's almost 1.5.
Okay.
Because
He's
she
my
has to
he's
get
my
she has to
chatterbug.
get 1.5 and then 2 and then 2.5 and then
Okay, okay, okay.
3.
Good, great. I'm so glad you can count.
They're adorable. I love kids.
Yeah, my 2 are.
Yeah. Funny thing is, even when I'm out in public, even though I don't know these kids, they stare at me and smile and wave.
They can just tell you like them.
Yeah. I just have
Yeah.
a way with kids, I guess.
Kids, I think, are good at reading energy. Yeah.
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 Mm.
All
They're
right.
so
Well,
cute at that age.
yeah. Well, it was nice to get to meet you guys. I don't think I've known you guys before the readathon, so it's cool to get to know you guys.
I've heard of you, Crystal, but I've heard of both of you actually before this. I just never really watched much of your videos for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I'm glad I connected with you both.
Yeah, I had heard of Crystal. I had heard of you a bit. And then I hadn't heard. I think I've seen you before, like at least commenting in other things, Amanda.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, oh, more romantasy people is always appreciated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen Rainy comment on Cassidy's videos before. I think that's the
Yeah,
only place I've seen her comment. At least that I can recall.
I feel like. Do you comment on? I could get this wrong. On is it 4 Paws in a Book Sprees?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, that's where I've seen it.
Yeah, I'm in her Patreon also.
Yeah, I am too.
Oh yeah, that's why I remember you. Yeah, I'm in her top tier. Yeah, I'm also very excited for the Amazing Readathon again in the new year. I think she said she's doing it in June again.
She is. And if you want one that's before that, I have one that's kind of like it in February. So
What kind of readathon?
it's called Get a Clue Readathon, so it's themed around Clue. And it has kind of the same premise with like prompts dropping at different times, but like you're also trying to get clues for your team. It's a whole
Oh,
thing.
nice.
But yeah.
That's cool.
That sounds like fun. I know some of my other friends, they have like a romance book club between the 3 of them, and they do a readathon every February, and they do like this. It's called Rom-Com Swoonathon.
Oh,
So
that's fun.
it's like a romance based book club. There you do a lot of romances and like all different types of romances, and then they also in December or this past year. They did the end of November, technically, going into December. But they did like a swoony sleepover deal. They did like all kinds of fun games and sprints and giveaways and stuff. And um, they do that every year. Then I have two other friends who do like a thriller book club, and they do like a this past June they did Camp Nightmare at Lake Thrills and Chills, and then they do Stay Spooky-a-thon in October. So they, all kinds of like thriller based stuff. And then me and my friend Clint started our own book club because they do all the other genres, romance and thriller. So I'm like, you might as well do fantasy romance. So my book club, we read fantasy romance, and we're like all over the board, different genres. But I always love getting to know like other people and in this community, and get involved in other people's readathons and sprints and all the other good fun stuff. So I'm glad I met you guys. So hopefully we can be friends and stuff.
Yeah, this year's my first year doing readathons and such. I think it's been really fun just to join them too as well, to get to interact more. So for next year, I would love for people to have their feedback on what would work best, like timing and what kind of readathon. Do you like bingo cards? Do you like a point system for fantasy romance kind of situation? But probably maybe October or November. I'm trying to get towards not feeling so crazy. So September, October, whatever. So it's also not going throughout other people's readathons. But in May, I'll always have my historical romance version of this. So I'm also gearing towards more of a point system or something like that, because I want a little more competition, a little more fun.
Do you do prompts for that too, for like you did with this one?
Yeah, you'll still do prompts, but and that's kind of where I'm thinking on. It's still doing prompts, but it'll just be more point based. So like your pages you're going to be reading. So that's what I'm thinking of. So and see if people would enjoy that too as well, or if they just prefer the bingo card.
Like this past May from this year, I did Escape the Readathon. That Lexi from Books with Lexi hosts.
Yeah, I did that one.
Was really fun too.
That was like the first time I've ever actually won one of those things where I was like on the winning team.
Oh yeah, we were on the same team. That's right.
Oh, I mean, there's so many of us.
I was in the game maker, the one with the can't remember, it was game something. Yeah, but I was on that blue winning team also.
Yeah.
As soon as I found out that we won, I was like, yes! And I like immediately told my fiance and my friend Janelle. We were all celebrating together that I won. Their whole team won.
Thanks, Abby Jean. Yeah, just let me know, guys, if you people that joined this readathon, like how you enjoyed it, what you enjoyed, or what things you would like to have for next time. Definitely probably not in December next year. I learned my lesson. It's a little too much for me, even for my chill schedule. So
I thought I was gonna read so much for this, and then December came, and I was like, oh no,
it's too much end of the year
I was
stuff.
the same way.
Just even for content. Yeah.
I mean, I started out promising, and then it kind of went by the wayside and dropped off a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe like November.
Yeah, like I was hoping to do November, but I think something had happened with my work schedule, or something scheduling wise happened that I ended up couldn't do it. So that was the original intent, was October, November. So
right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I know December's always busy, and so I think or December's always busy, so we'll do it for October, November next time. Because even with November, I know we have Thanksgiving, so it can be still a little hectic.
Yeah.
Here in the U.S. So, all right. Well, I will. So yeah, just let me know if you guys had what you felt like. I'll probably put like a question box or whatever. I don't know if I think about a question box, or just like a channel on the Discord for just some feedback on your guys' input for next year. So what would work best and what would be more fun, especially on prompts as well, because I wanted to put something that was easy and attainable
Yeah.
because I know all the different prompts. It's like with the end of the year, you're just less stressed. So things that were easier, it's easier to people aren't stressing about it. So
Right. Like I like the bingo board idea because most people can read at their own speed. They don't have to like try and
Yeah.
like keep up and keep falling behind or you know. I
hmm
think the bingo boards are actually a great idea. And bingo boards readathons have been super in lately. So I think that also
I mean,
helps.
I did one in November, so I really like bingo boards.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so I
Okay.
think that's always fun to to have in there. Bingo boards are like the easiest things in the world.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I know people are super well, the other reason is because I know people are super competitive, at least, and they love to have like teams and such. So, we
Mm.
did one for the Romance Readathon in September that Maggie was hosting, and I know she may not be having it this coming year. So, I
Okay,
wanted
the
something
Phantom
like
of the
that.
Opera one, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
like
I
something that's
did that
based
one
around
too.
romance. Yeah, would be
Yeah, they
fun.
did. Yeah, the Phantom of the Opera one was so fun.
Yeah, gothic romance is like it's a niche. I love it.
Yeah, I love Gothic.
Hmm.
hmm The trouble
So,
is finding gothic romance, like not the Cadia or anything like that, because sometimes it's what I've been finding is it's gothic, but it's not really a full romance. It's like a love story in there, but not like an HEA at the end, or where the romance is like the main plot.
right.
So, so that's the trouble sometimes is finding that.
Yeah, I also offered help with that next time around if they decide they need more, volunteers to help with anything. So
Yeah,
I offered to Maggie like if she ever needs any help with anything or any ideas of any kind. I'm always I'm always willing. And same with you, Crystal. If you ever need help with anything.
well, yeah, I think that's the hardest part is I don't have like a set Discord or a Patreon that I get have a group chat anywhere. So I'll
Mhm.
definitely look for you and you too, Rain, if you want to. if
Oh
you
yeah,
get
yeah.
permission.
I was gonna say I feel like I wasn't as active as I could have been because December just went crazy, and then also
Yeah,
me being a
same.
music teacher, having all my winter concerts, and then I was like, oh, maybe I should have. But it's fine.
Right.
But no people weren't really active in the Discord either. I think it was just a busy month for
Yeah.
everybody. So, and usually I know in May it was pretty active. So I don't know if it's just the bad timing for me, but I
I
think
think
people
it's
also
that, and
look
a
at
lot of people are
yeah.
just burnt out by December. Like they're like just either because they do a bunch of readathons, or just because they're just like, I have to hit my end of year goals, and then it's Christmas, and I don't know.
Mm,
It's just
And
more.
and a lot
it's
of
a
people
weird time.
travel for the holidays. So that's another
Yeah.
thing, People are always traveling in December because of
Oh,
Christmas and
mm,
Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and New Year coming up.
yeah. All right. Well, I'll keep that in mind and such, and I'll definitely look forward to watching your guys' videos and chatting chatting on an Instagram too. So that's cool. That's why I like Instagram so much. It's a little bit more one on one sometimes.
Yeah,
You actually chat.
that's why I like it too.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will let you guys go. I know it's late for you guys, and I just really appreciate you guys joining and enjoying the live show today, and just I don't know, just being co-host. It was nice to have some. I wanted a bigger group this time, just to have like more flexibility. So I
Yeah,
appreciate you guys joining.
anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank
It's
you guys.
been
Thanks to
fun.
everyone here on the chat, and thanks for joining Readathon. As a reminder, you guys can have till the 29th just because I wanted to give myself enough time with the crazy holidays. So you have
Right.
until the 29th to submit your bingo cards in the Discord, the Submit Here channel, or direct message Ever After Readathon for the giveaway. And I'll probably do it. I'll probably record it and put it on Instagram And then I'll also put it in, or probably put it in the stories on Instagram and then post in the Discord. So I think that's what I did last time. Whatever I did in May, I'll probably do that. All right. Well, thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.